This discussion concerns biblical morality. The question to be discussed is, does God expect women to marry their rapist? This is a question that comes from the following biblical passage in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 to 29. It says, "If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives." The argument against the morality of this command by God is that a good God would not allow a woman to marry her rapist. Oftentimes is often framed as, does God condone rape? But I think the more controversial issue here is whether or not a good God would allow a woman to marry her rapist. So arguments that are in favor of this particular law in Deuteronomy is more of an explanation as to why would God allow something like this to happen. And there are several angles that an apologist or anybody interested in understanding the context may take that would explain this law and in a way argue that this is actually good. So there's first the linguistic explanation, which is a debate as to whether this verse, specifically the verb use, actually refers to rape or consensual sex without betrothal. The other argument is the contextual explanation, whereas an earlier verse explicitly condemns rape and its punishment is death. This contrast between these two verses adds credibility to the above linguistic explanation. The third argument could be the historical and cultural explanation, whereas in a patriarchal society, women's survival often depended on marriage and family structure. An unbetrothed non-virgin often faced lifelong poverty. Marriage was more about economic survival rather than romance. So this law ensured that the perpetrator was responsible for the security of his victim for life. And another argument is the legal explanation. This is a case of Israelite case law, not a timeless moral principle. It addresses what to do if something already went wrong. This differentiates from a moral ideal. Obviously, it's not ideal for a woman to marry her rapist. So the idea that a woman has to marry her rapist is unacceptable in today's society. However, when understood within the patriarchal culture of the ancient Near Eastern society, this law becomes understandable. Yet even when explained within this context, there's often an emotional backlash to this law, understandably. One question that can be posed is, what prescription would you provide for a rape victim in ancient Israel? If you're interested in discussing this topic in greater detail in an online format, let me know in the comments below or message me at debatechristianitynow@gmail.com or visit debatechristianity.com.